Beautiful and handsome. My name is Bella Twine, and I will be emceeing or co-hosting for this event, Social Media Convention 2023. We are so happy to have you here at the MCI Media Hub. We're so thankful to our partners, Konrad Adenauer Stiftung, and we're so grateful for each and everybody that has made it on time. I'm going to ask you to please push up front because people who are going to be coming later on are going to sit at the back. So if you could do that just in a minute, we'll be starting right away. Thank you so much. So we have so much in store for you. We have so much amazing discussions that are going to happen right here. First off, we have a plenary discussion that is going to happen, moderated by the one and only Josephine Karunji. She is my mentor, and I adore her so, so much. Yes, we have other awesome conversations that are going to be happening. We also have an AR and VR gaming session that is going to be happening out back. We have amazing food, so if you're hungry, please grab something to eat. Yes, I'm going to introduce Mr. Abbas Mpindi, the CEO of Media Challenge Initiative, and Anna as well, so that they can come and have a few opening remarks for this session. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. How are we doing? Are you all right? We had tea? My name is Abbas Mpindi. For those of you who might be here for the first time and you wonder if this place is run by a human being or by AI, the good news is that there's a real human being and other human beings behind the running of the MCI Media Hub and Media Challenge Initiative. We work to build the next generation of journalists. And we do that through two ways. One is through training and working with the universities to build their capacities and prepare them for the market. And if you watch TV or you read newspapers or you listen to radio, you will see, hear, and read stories by our young journalists. And the second way we empower the next generation of journalists is through media innovations and incubating those who have ideas and businesses that they want to, alternatively contribute to the media market. So we have innovations here, and if you move around, you will see the Debunk Media Initiative that work on fact-checking. You will see the sign language, Open Signs team. Part of the team members are here as well. And they're working to make sure that, content, TV content, addresses the needs of people with hearing impairment. And we have Solutions Now Africa, who every day come here to document stories of responses, critical responses in our country that change narratives and how people see our country and our continent. But today, it's not really about what we do. As an organization, it's about this convention, which we've been part of for at least now 4 to 5 years, working with the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung, whom we have known since 2017, supporting the Media Challenge Initiative, fellowship program, the expo, and different events. So today, again, we are part of the social media convention, and it gives me so much pleasure as convener-in-chief to welcome all of you. and say, please clap for yourselves, for this is a great day that the good Lord has given us. I'm not an expert on AI, neither am I an expert on issues to do with social media. I am a very good consumer of these platforms, and for me, I've seen myself at either being impacted by intended and unintended consequences of AI and technology. And my hope from this convention is that the experts that we have invited here are able to educate us about, what are those unintended consequences that impact us on a daily because of artificial intelligence and its application on social media and other online platforms. But I'm hoping also to learn not just about how it's impacting the future of governance, and there you're talking about the bigger and larger and broader systems of governance and government and the interaction of the different departments and with the public services. But I'm also interested in learning how AI is being governed and by who, and how us as Ugandans and Africans we can participate in that space and what our role is rather than just consumption at that level. But also at the lower level of how it would impact, normal relationships of us as human beings and also at a family level as well. So, my role here is really to make sure you feel at home. I'll come back to do some ground rules and housekeeping for you all to be at home. But for now, I want to invite our partner, the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung, who are the real conveners or the organizers of the annual social media conference. It was a conference before. This year it's a convention, so it means it's bigger, it's better, but it's also more exciting, and that's why you're all here. So please help me welcome Anna Reisman from the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? We have a photographer here in the room. So, do you have your smartphones with you today? Can you show me your smartphones, please? Hold them up in the air. Let's create a photo moment, guys. Let's show our window to the world. Let's show how we invite the world to be with us today. Yes. Thank you so much. Now, welcome, dear friends, followers, users, content creators. Content posted, content shared makes the rounds around the globe and allows us to see, to be seen, to listen, to get listened to, and to participate in any conversation out there in the World Wide Web. It's a promise, right? The World Wide Web is a promise of creating an agora, just like we are here today, right? A marketplace where not only commercial interests meet, but also a place to exchange ideas, views, positions, beliefs, ideologies. A marketplace with an easy and equal access for everyone. A promise, a vision, a forum that connects, creates opportunities, invites for participation, a convening space that was designed with the vision. Please turn around and look at that wall with the vision to create and to make the world a better place. So welcome to the Social Media Convention 2023, but have a look at our program. So again, so many promises in the morning. The social media is holding for us all these ideas and visions, new forms of civic engagement, generative AI and the future of storytelling, promise of the digital economy, and to create a brighter future for our work, to create jobs, building social movements for social impact. But are we creating a better world using social media? As we move forward into the afternoon sessions, we will be asking ourselves, can social media, for example, fix the gap between the government and the citizens against the background of the declining trust into institutional frameworks? And let's also face it, it's not all that rosy, right? Let's talk about whether everyone does indeed have equal access to the platforms and can be equally heard. What about the AI bias? What do we mean when we talk about data colonialism? What about the rights of creators online? Are they protected? What about our protection when exposing ourselves to the world today as we create here some traffic? What is our protection when we are inviting the world to us into this gadget? What is the legal framework for our connectivity, our exposure, our interaction, our participation in the digital space? What can we as individuals do to better protect ourselves and our content on social media? Are we actually giving up our rights? Are we aware of our rights at all? Are we actually contributing really to make the world a better place? Or maybe to quite an opposite? What about our own ethics when we engage on social media? How much do we really care? Do we care at all? Or are we happy to break the news, to forward anything that catches our attention and is in line with our own bias? Which content are we sharing? The one that helps us to build our societies and to make them stronger and more resilient? Or the kind of content that can destroy trust in everything we see and hear, that sows hatred, violence, produces and strengthens the conflicts within our society? Or is this gadget that we hold in our pockets, is this a slot machine? As Rana Foroohar calls it in her book, Don't Be Evil, the case against big tech, does this device make us addicted to social media and all the entertainment on our phones available 24/7? Does it distract us? Does it let us lose focus? Does it hinder us from thinking, reasoning, and working on solving the real problems as we engage in all the minor conversations online? Do we risk our future by constantly being online? The Nobel Prize-winning economist Herbert Simon once put it, a wealth of information means a dearth of something else. Maybe something to think about. So as we recognize the advantages of using different digital platforms and social media, we also need to be aware of the risks and willing to address them as individuals, organizations, institutions, states. At the end, and I'm quoting again from the same book, I guess I'm advertising it and I want to make you read it. It's once in a while, it's also good to hold a book in your hands and not just this gadget. At the end, choosing the right balance between innovation, competition, and privacy will be crucial to creating both jobs and stable, and now I'm adding from my side, democratic and safe society. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. I would like now to, together with Abbas, to invite all our partners who are here with us today and contributing to the conversations of today. So please, come up. Abbas, Policy, Aga Khan University, 40 40 over 40. Where are you guys? Global Shapers, KQ Hub, please come up. Let the people see your faces, recognize your organizations, and let them know what your organization does and why you are with us today. Let us start with policy.
Hello. Check. Good morning, everyone. You're welcome to the social media convention as we discuss social media AI and the future of governance. My name is Philip Ayazika. I work with policy as a program manager, and we are an East African civic technology organization. We function at the intersection of data, design, and technology, and our work and research spans across the use and implementation of data and technology to engineer social change. We are here to explore the intersection of social media, artificial intelligence, and how they are shaping the future of governance. And as we delve into the future of governance, I would like to point out that this is something I read somewhere, that humanity is the greatest threat to the internet. Do we agree? Do we agree? As Anne has mentioned, that there's lots of risks and challenges that are associated with the internet, specifically social media. We're the same people that are pushing, harmful narratives on social media. We're the same people that are pushing cyber violence, misinformation, even in the gendered aspects. I want to point us to a research that we did to understand violence against women politicians in 2021, the general elections. And we monitored about 200 social media accounts. And I'm happy to see Honorable here that we also interacted with. And we found out that whereas for men, politicians, when you put up your manifesto on Facebook, and that time, remember, there were no physical gatherings, yeah? There were only social media. People were supposed to campaign on social media. As a man, when you put up your manifesto, it's satire, you receive constructive feedback. But then a woman politician wakes up, puts up their manifesto on social media, and people are coming for her color, for her nose, for her boobs, which is really a terrible thing. So what am I saying? We are the greatest threat to social media, but I hope that as we convene today, we can have constructive dialogue around how we can innovate to make sure that we build an ideal internet, yeah? An internet that respects privacy, an internet that respects security, and the very many digital rights that we continue to enjoy in the digital world. Just remember that the same human rights that we fight for or are supposed to get in the physical spaces are the same that you're supposed to have in the digital world. Just like you're free to express your opinion, physically, you should be able to express your opinion digitally. Thank you so much, and I wish you great deliberations today. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Grace Kenganzi from the Personal Data Protection Office at NITA Uganda. We are in charge of ensuring that the personal data you share with individuals, with organizations is protected. We've been in operation since 2021. And as I've said, so we are here to encourage people to register with the PDPO. Because when you register, it means that you are making a commitment to ensure that people's personal data is not misused. And with social media, we are always registering for things with our accounts, giving our names, giving our dates, earning, and we don't know what happens to this data. So our office is supposed to ensure that it's not abused. Yeah, you're available for more information.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Karagwa Nkwanzi Rebecca. I'm here on behalf of the Global Shapers community, Kampala Hub. The Global Shapers community, together with the 4040 Smiles Foundation, will be moderating a session today about building social movements and connected communities. And we are a connected community, and we hope that you can come to our workshop, and we shall be sharing more information about who we are, what we do. This year we make 10 years of existence, And so we are very excited to share about our work and what we do. And we thank you for coming to this social media conversion. And we thank all the other partners led by CAS for the work that you have done to make sure that this day happens. We are very excited to be here. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, our dear partners. Please, you can take your seats. Hello, I still have a lot of catching up to do. A few announcements to make so that we all know how this is really organized today. So the first thing that I want to at least make sure you understand is that this is not our usual conference format. So first thing is it's plug and play. So by plug and play, it means we have 3 sessions. One is going to be the main plenary, and those are happening here. The bigger sessions, there are 3. We have 3 workshops, which will be happening in the training room. Just walk out, and then it's the next room. You'll have all the signs showing, and then we have the roundtable discussions. Those will be also happening here at different times. Plug and play means you can go into any of the rooms, apart from the workshop, which we'll announce later because there is a registration for that. But you can participate in any of the workshops and in any of the roundtable discussions, and also be able to move out and go and take a break and have fun. Just like you do it on social media. You can plug in anytime and plug out. Our hope is that you are not constrained to be in just that one space. But we also hope that you don't abuse the plug and play and just keep moving around the way you want, right? At a certain point, we need some good focus on the sessions. We don't have any set breaks, so if you feel tired, you step out and have a break. We don't have lunch, but it's a whole day session. But the good news is that you can eat anytime you want. Again, don't abuse that. We have stations that are set with edibles and brown bags. Now, I know as Ugandans, we may be expecting a plate of food and being able to pack it, okay, some of us. But this time around, don't be shocked when they give you a brown bag. And you have some sanitizers there, and you just come and sit again. Again, don't be shocked if you see your neighbor eating as the sessions are going on. We're trying to make sure that this space is as unconventional as any other convention can be. So we hope that that does not be the only thing that is trending on social media, that you can also make sure that all our sessions are really trending. So I know I had broken people's hearts by saying there's no lunch. So there's food, and it's flowing. There are snacks, there are fruits, there's water, and we're making sure you're staying hydrated. We have coffee, and later we have a cocktail as well. So, the other thing is we have, besides the workshops and expert roundtable discussion, as well as the main plenary, we have a gaming, VR and AR gaming cafe, where you can go, and with Aga Khan, where you can go and experience their work there. It will be at the reception when you're entering the MCI Media Hub. Please, during your breaks, you can just go there and sit down and chill. If you want to have a conversation with someone, one of the speakers who might be free, you can walk with them to the cafe as well. We have a mental health wellness space. Again, I'm not very good with directions, but if you walk out of here, at the exact corner of this building, the 90-degree corner, you'll see a space that has some fancy chairs, as well as, there's just fancy chairs. Please go in there and chill a bit and have conversations. It's really a wellness space, but it's a lounge for today. We are live streaming, so if you, the fact that you're here, it means you accept in one way or another to be recorded. But we do hope that when you see a camera, I just want to make sure you know that there is live streaming and there is recording, so that you're comfortable when you are speaking. And if there is something that you want to censor, that you don't say it on live cameras. We have bathrooms, so if you want to visit the bathrooms, just walk at that extreme end, you go, you'll find the bathrooms there. We have first aid, so in case anything happens, we also have an ambulance, so we'll be able to make sure that everyone is catered for. And we also have police in case there's some sort of, people who are not behaving well. But I'm very hopeful that this is going to end well. So once again, please feel at home, have fun. Let's have very, very constructive conversations. And I want to kick this off with my performer, who doesn't seem to be here yet. Oh, hey, ladies and gentlemen, put up your hands together for Angel Kabera, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. More energy. Good morning. Yes, thank you so much. I'm Angel Kabera. I'm a poet, a song poet, and a student of journalism as well. I must say I'm very anxious. Here. AI makes me very anxious. The whole conversation around that is not something I like, but I'm here to learn more. Yeah, I don't know about you, but when I see ChatGPT writing poems, I wonder if people like Abbas will need me in the next 2 years. So it's a bit scary, but it is well. Yeah, I like to start my day with a prayer or with a mantra, because above all things, amidst all of this, we must maintain our peace of mind. And I'd like us to say this mantra together. So if you don't mind, you could repeat after me, if it is okay with you. And this is how it goes. I am happy and I am grateful. I am happy for this peace of mind that comes from within and without on continuous basis in increasing amounts and from various sources. Yes, so if we could now say that with our eyes closed. I'll close my eyes last. It's not witchcraft, guys. It's just an affirmation as human beings. Yes, I'll close my eyes last. I am happy and I am grateful for this peace of mind that comes from within and without in increasing amounts on continuous basis and from various sources. I seek peace of mind to settle this heart of mine. I am moving in sync with the waves rippling within, and I'm constantly out of tune with the songs of men, 'cause this state of mind has been rightfully earned Oh, holy divine is this peace of mind. Thank you. Yeah.
Name is Abby. Your first thank you Angel for such a beautiful performance. Clap for Angel everyone. You and you too. Please clap. I see you. You didn't clap. Clap for yourselves now. Hi humans. My name is Abby. Your first ever AI generated events host. AI is taking over. Today, I will make sure you have a beautiful event. Now, humans, clap for Bella, the real host of the day. And don't worry, she is very human. I will mainly come back to make the unhuman orders calling you to action. Bella, take it away.
Thank you. Bella, I feel like you should tell people that I'm human so that we are sure. Before I start, I want to introduce or to bring forward the panelists so that we know who's going to be part of this conversation. Good morning, everybody. Sorry, forgive my manners. Mr. Robert Kapshenga, please make your way to the front. Mr. Anthony Masake, please make your way to the front. And I believe two of our other panelists are going to be joining us online. I don't know if they're online as yet. I don't know who to look at, who will give me the signal that they're online or not. But we have Christine Mungai, and we also have Alexander Holubov. All right, so when the elders meet, they pause and have a conversation in front of everybody. So we'll give them a few seconds to catch up, and then we'll start. Yes, they're human. Okay. So I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves because lately profiles have changed.
I could walk on pavements and slow my pace, but that will not reverse my history. Fast forward or press rewind, I could press my shopping bags close to my chest as I walk past gates with inscriptions, entrance only, but hey, I know, as the walking citizen and subject of these streets, sure, my country is a badly taken selfie, sure, deserted by rats. I will kill myself with a necktie for a district. Sure. Fast forward or press rewind, I could run past Kiprotich, past Kiplagat, past Kiplimo for just one gold coin in this golden pot of life. But I know, as the walking citizen and subject of these streets, victory is a single story of countless defeats. And my country is a badly taken selfie. Here, we are always asking ourselves questions that history has never answered. We are the victims of traffic lights. which keep gambling suggestions on our directions. We are asking generational questions with no answers, questions which ask, did we ever solve our colonial questions? Have we solved the human rights questions? Have we solved the questions on freedom of expression? Traffic lights will keep gambling on directions our generations should take. But have we resolved the young people's questions? You know, the sun shines bright, rises from the east, sets in the west. Beautiful country. But as the working citizen and subject of our social media streets, I know my country is a badly taken selfie. We must not delete, but keep. And as a working citizen and subject of our streets, we have to embrace its imperfections for God and my country.
This feels like when you're in a Zoom meeting and then somebody just jumps in, an uninvited guest. But if they would jump in to speak about things like this, I think we'd all appreciate them a lot more than what we normally hear in those interruptions. So thank you very much, Kagai. That was very, very nicely put. Thank you. Please, we're not AI as yet. We can still give a bit of warmth. Yes, I was saying we're going to do introductions, and I'd like our panelists to introduce themselves. Anthony, they have said you should do it first, so please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Josephine. Good morning, colleagues. My name is Anthony Masake. I am the Acting Executive Director of Chapter 4 Uganda. I'm a lawyer by training. I am no expert in AI, but I'm very interested because it's very clear that AI concerns all of us. It's a pleasure to be here, and I look forward to an interesting conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. I hope Chapter 4 is doing well.
Yes, we're doing great.
Okay.
We're good, sure.
Robert?
Good morning. I am Robert Kabushenga. That's it.
You know, before, if I ever had to introduce Mr. Robert Kabushenga, I would have to say Mr., then I'd have to say CEO, then I'd have to read a CV that dates back to I don't know when. But
no, I think, Josephine, I've just discovered that it's no longer important for you to identify yourself by what you're doing at a particular time. You should just introduce yourself the way you are. So this is me. This is Robert Kabushenga. That's it. Finished. Chapter closed.
Thank you, Robert.
And I told Winnie, my good friend Winnie, that for those interested in my current role, there is a word that was created by Alan Kasuja. I am a yeast.
When Robert is busy yearing, like he will be later on today, maybe he would tell us who he's going to be yearing with this evening.
Okay, I guess to be fair to everyone, so apart from the other stuff that I do, so I guess you're interested in what I do now. One, I am a part-time house husband. Yeah, I'm a part-time house husband. I also spend a bit of time growing coffee and bananas. And then, purely for public interest, I curate certain conversations. One, which is to share my experiences and the experiences of people I know with young guys, and it's called 360 Mentor. And I do that purely 100% on Twitter Spaces, digital media. I'm more interested in anything else. I am now also, I've started a conversation called Envisioning the Future. And it's very specific. It's envisioning the future of politics. And it's important that you people get interested in what the future of politics will look like. And so, since you've given me the opportunity, I'm going to use this to plug. So this evening at 7:30, I'll be having a conversation with one of the most distinguished East Africans, a man called Wile Mutunga. He retired as Chief Justice of Kenya and President of their Supreme Court, but he has a very rich history as a political organizer, a human rights champion, and a reformist activist. So I suggest that those of you looking for answers like the young man who was here, you'll be surprised to learn that the questions you're asking today were asked before and answers were provided. The only problem is that because we don't learn from our history, we're always doomed to repeat it.
Thank you very much, Robert. Our next panelist is Cynthia Mungai. Cynthia will be joining us online. Is Cynthia in? If she could just say hello and introduce herself.
I'm going to have to correct you. It's Christine Mungai.
Christine, sorry.
Yes, I hope that everyone can hear me.
This Christine.
Christine, are you the Christine he knows? Can you see him?
Christine.
Yes, Robert. It is the Christine that you know.
Yes. Well, you people have no idea what privilege you have to have Christine with you.
Thank you very much, Christine. I think we are going to know the Christine you know as we go along with the conversation. Our last panelist is, I need to read this name, Alexander Holubov, and I hope I've not murdered it. Alexander will also be joining us online.
Hello, it's precisely my name, thank you. And I'm not Alexander Rob. Here because it's a new experience for me, and it's really nice to be here. So I can't express enough my emotions that, and I'm thankful for this opportunity.
Thank you very much. So I will give a little introduction to myself. When I came in today, someone says, "Ne Karunji, what dawa? Where did you go?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "I thought I would watch you grow old on TV." And so just to let you know that, like Honorable Winnie Kiza, I also feel that we need to leave the space for other people. And I just really wanted to say that to just recognize that you're in the room with us, and it's nice to have you here. So because this conversation can go very far, it can go to just about anywhere, we're going to zero in on particular questions so that we can center it. And I will ask the panelists particular questions, none of them to each of them. It will just be one question, and any of them can respond. And then I'll open up the floor for about 30 minutes when we are done with the conversation. We should have started at about 9:30, so we're going to start an hour late. So I'm hoping we'll get back some of that time to be able to catch up. So my first question, and I'll just start with the people that are in the room so that we can go to Christine and Holubov later. My first question, just to also introduce the conversation that we are going to have, who are the new actors or digital constituents that are shaping democracy online? Anthony, you're looking at me very keenly, so I feel that you should begin this conversation.
Okay. Thank you once again, Josephine. So I think that to do justice to that question, it is important to understand where we are coming from. And I will just start a bit with the period when we got our independence and then started this entire project of democracy, which then, of course, led to the constitution that, the constitutions that we have had since then. And it is clear, of course, that most of the conversations about democracy were largely shaped by narratives from the West. When you look at our constitutions, they were largely, again, shaped by that. Of course, we did much better in 1995 with that constitution because we know about the Constitutional Assembly. But still, that history was still weighing very heavily on that space. And we have made progress, but we have to recognize that there are new actors in this space. And in this case, I just want to raise attention to the East. We have Russia, we have China in the new spaces, and that, of course, cannot be discounted or understated. We know the role that they play in terms of empowering our governments to have the technology that we see today, whether it be the cameras, the equipment, as low as the mobile phones that we hold today and the mobile applications that we use today. So we have to recognize the new actors in terms of the states. But we also have to recognize the new actors in terms of the rise of the civil society movement and the increasing use of these social media platforms in terms of conversations about democracy. We also have young people who are increasingly, of course, using the social media platforms and now the AI technology to be able to weigh in on these political and democratic debates that we have. So it's a broad movement. We also have, of course, women increasingly sharing their voices in these spaces. But there are, of course, a few challenges as we will discuss as we go forward.
Thank you, Anthony.
Josephine, do you want to ask that question again? I tend to be a bit slow.
I don't know if it's slow, but
Yeah.
I will ask the question again.
Yes, please.
Yeah, who are the new actors, digital constituents that are shaping democracy online?
Let me ask, in my answer to the question, just want to ask a very direct question. How old is Abbas Mpindi?
I don't know if he wants us to say that out loud.
It's actually absolutely important for us to know Abbas Mpindi's age. Does anyone know it?
Can we give a bracket?
That's all right. Is he on the third floor?
No, yes, he's on the third floor.
So the digital people that you're talking about, is anybody on the third floor and below? And I'm going to explain why with a very interesting story for me personally. And it's across, it's not, the tendency of people here is to think that it's just the Abbas Mpindis. No. I have young guys in that age bracket who work on my farm. And the only reason I get to know them, who they are is they all send requests to be my friends on Facebook. And I'm like, but I know this face. And then I find him in the coffee plantation. Now, last year, at this time, I was involved in a very bad...
In progress.
What was very gratifying... So why did you wait for me to talk and then you record? They want to get me into trouble, as it's Josephine is. But we used those platforms to get you people at your age, in your generation, to understand what coffee was about. It wasn't about your grandfathers. It became about you. It became about your heritage. It became about your future. The day you understood that is when people stepped back from their scheme. The point for me, which is absolutely important, is that the answer to your question is these people. Anybody that Anna Reisman challenged to show their phone, those are the people who are now in control. Because what has happened is with every device that you guys have, empowerment has come to you. And so you are the new constituency. And anybody who dismisses you and ignores you does so at their own risk. By the time they wake up to the reality of the narrative that is being constructed by people like Abbas and Pindi, it will be too late. Unfortunately, people my generation are making the classic mistake of thinking that you are their kids and they shouldn't worry about what you do with yourselves. By the time they figure out what you're doing to them, it will be too late. If you think I am lying, ask the guys in the media and banking industry. They will tell you how you guys are taking away their lunch and breakfast. But before we know it, I can tell you without fear of contradiction that the next major political decisions in Uganda and on the African continent will be driven by the digital constituents that we're talking about.
Thank you, Kabshenga. And I think one of the things I'm very grateful for with the organization of this convention is how much time they've actually given to this conversation. Normally they say, we have 4 panelists, and then they say 1 hour and figure it out, and then you have Kabshenga who might want to school you for 30 minutes for one question, and you just don't have the time. So I'm very, very thankful that we get to be able to hear you out and listen to all of these insights that you're sharing. You spoke about your people on the farm reaching out to you on Facebook, and I'm wondering if Facebook and Google are also not part, of the new actors that are shaping the democracy online. But let's go to Kristen and Holubov, if any of you would like to respond to this question.
I'm happy to respond. I hope you're all getting me clearly.
Yes.
So this past week in Kenya, as they were going live, there were protesters who were also live on TikTok, right? But what I found very interesting is that not only were the journalists and the TikTok and journalists and protesters, the people on the ground on TikTok, there were also live TikTok feeds of people houses watching the protest from their windows, or sometimes even watching the protests on TV. And the most interesting of all is that there were actually some police officers who were also live on TikTok. So I'm talking about, yes, a totally 360-degree coverage, right? You can imagine this officer, before he charges into the crowd to disrupt and to lob tear gas, 2 seconds ago he was on TikTok, talking about how this is what we are going to do. I mean, it's a kind of situation that I've not seen before at this scale, and TikTok is one of these platforms that is created in such a way that it's very, very accessible to almost everyone. Low bandwidth, someone who just bought their first smartphone, rural populations. In Kenya, we have this kind of dance group. you have to kind of like be clever with words in a way, right? To be effective on Twitter. And Facebook kind of acts differently because of the friend effect, like the network effect, that you tend to be friends with people you know, and then which kind of creates a particular kind of environment for information to spread. But these new platforms are becoming actors in and of themselves because of how they're designed and how people are using them. Only one. I know in this conversation we'll talk about AI, we'll talk about Chat GPT. We're living in a very dynamic.
So I guess that's an internet connection.
Mm-hmm.
Christian, yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I was saying that we're living in a very dynamic and fast-changing environment. And if you think you understood the internet 2-3 years ago, I mean, like, we're in a whole new world. I think with the growth of these new platforms, it just takes that much more to be able to understand the space that we're in and what that means for our politics, for our society, for civic engagement, for journalism, right? And for what actually it means to have a public sphere. What is actually the public sphere when we are saying that against the backdrop of this digital space?
Thank you very much, Kristen. You spoke about what's been happening in Kenya and how everybody was online on TikTok. And I saw one Twitter follower who said in just one day he got 8,000 new followers on, I think it was on TikTok. But I know later we're going to have a conversation that's going to go into hashtag activism and also Slackivism. I think that's what they call it. So it's important that you've raised that.
Yeah, I hear you very well. For sake of simplicity, please call me Alex. It will be probably the best way for us to communicate because it's easier. So first of all, I'm really appreciate the things I heard, and they are totally, on my opinion, up to point. But technologies still are not the actors. They are technologies. They are tools that are disrupting our life. They are disrupting the ways we were living, sharing information, consuming information. But we are still people, and we are taking responsibility for our actions, for our decisions, and for our words that are actually essential, in my opinion. I really believe that disrupting all things is inherently good and bad in the same way, because it's always something good and something bad in the way we're living and we will be living. We are not one-dimensional creatures that are just inherently good or inherently bad. The same people can make good decisions at one point and then get a dictator. We know lots of politicians that were very popular and for the normal reasons, for the real reasons, but then something happened and they changed the past. So I really believe that we do not have to shift responsibility for technology. Of course, as with every tool, there will be lots of resources in malicious hands. For example, big tech companies, they have their own business that are changing our perception of things, and we have to be aware of it. But still, we are conscious beings. We are aware of this algorithm, and we can use them for our goals as well. It doesn't mean that it's double-edged sword every time. So every actor who uses social media for propaganda's sake must understand that the same media tool can be used against this actor. That's why I'm really of the opinion that we are, everybody here, everybody is in this world. We just have to take responsibilities. We have to fight for the right causes when we believe in them.
Shouldn't